guys, it's Sam, and this is my spoiler-free review of The Devouring Gray by Christine Lynn Herman. This is the first book in a YA contemporary fantasy, I believe it's a duology, and it follows 3 out of the 4 teenage members of the founding families of this small town. In this small town, they are surrounded by a woods, and that woods is inhabited by a monster, like they just call it the Beast. And this beast was trapped within the forest, which kind of turns into like almost like the Upside Down from Stranger Things. And the founding family members are the ones that defeated it using various types of magic. So at the beginning of the story, one of these families returns to this town after being away, and so we're following one of the main characters, Violet, as she is discovering everything about this town. And then there are 2 other characters who've been in the town that we are also following their perspectives as well as things are going on, and as Violet learns more about what's going on and all the unrest in this town. So there are some trigger warnings in here for some like mild body horror and like gore and stuff. There is some like possession, mind control stuff if that bothers you. And there's a lot of death. There's a lot of death of siblings, death of parents, just a lot of death in this small town. So first off, we talk about the world building. The world building in here was like delightfully like spooky, kind of like I thought it would be. When this was first pitched, it really reminded me of The Covenant, which is a delightfully bad movie, and I always talk about it whenever I talk about this book because it gives me that vibe, and it sort of is similar. These characters are not witches like in The Covenant, but there is this like founding family element, things like that, and they have different kinds of abilities. And the magic is tied into like all of them needing to do a ritual, and it being like all the rituals being like pretty dark. There's a lot of just really dark imagery, spooky forests, things like that. Next, we talk about our characters. There are these founding families, and it's really focusing mostly on these teens, but then a couple of the parents and stuff are also kind of involved as well. But other than that, you don't get a lot of like side characters that are fully fleshed out or anything. So you're really just following these main characters. And I really liked all of them. So how I could best describe this is, generally speaking, all of the characters besides I think 2 of the main characters are bisexual. All of them. So basically this is a band of disaster bis trying their best, and ooh, I loved it. All of them have a history of trauma that has brought them together in some way. They get each other based on various traumatic events that have happened to them, not all the same. Again, a lot of loss, a lot of grief, a lot of just like family stuff, just like dense traumatic things that have happened, but they recognize their pain in each other, and that's what kind of like bonds them together, and they're disasters, trying their best and kind of fumbling through it. And I enjoyed that. There's also some like angstiness going on, but not over the top. There's not a lot of relationship stuff happening, but the founding families are not allowed at all to be together because that would like dilute the bloodline. So like basically if 2 founding family members had kids, only one of the powers would survive that, and that kid would inherit only one of the power lines. So it's like really forbidden. So we have this like forbidden love dynamic with like multiple characters, not necessarily the ones that you're thinking it would be, and some of the even like side characters and stuff. So loved that. And then the abilities they have are also fun. There is a character that has like necromancy, which you guys know how I feel about that. One of the families has this deck of omens, which are basically like tarot cards, but like their own version of tarot cards, and love that. One family can like animate stones and things to like protect things, and then there's one that with like more like mind control abilities, and one with the ability to put things together and take things apart. And each family has ways that their powers kind of manifest differently within that theme. So really cool. Lastly, we talk about the plot. This first book is really, especially Violet, kind of like discovering what's going on, and there's like some political like upheaval happening in the town because the town knows that there is a supernatural element and that the founders keep them safe, but there's obviously some like backlash against the founders and stuff because people have more recently been dying more frequently from this forest. So there's some backlash there, and just things are getting sorted out because Violet like has no idea like her family history or anything like that, and there's just a very large history of trauma. So this book explores themes of grief and loss, family history, memories, friendship and loyalty, and messing up and making changes and all this stuff. It's a really good time. There were some things that were a little bit more like simplistic. Like I said, there were some things where there were some like other characters that just didn't really feel fully fleshed out. But overall, really enjoyed this. And I would say, as I did in my review, because I don't have that much to actually say like bad about it, I would give this like a 4 to 4.5. Again, there were some things about it that like so deeply speak to me with like the level of kind of spookiness, like just enough, but not too much, and all of the characters being bi, like nearly everyone, and a dark forest, and necromancy, and like pet companions, familiar type things, tarot cards. Like there was a lot here that appealed to me. So I will be continuing with the series, and I will do a short gush for this as well. So I will link that on the screen if you've already read this book and want to check it out. So comment below, let me know what you thought of The Devouring Gray. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see all of you guys soon. Bye.